Hey, what's up guys? Tyler here with Secureteam. So I want to talk today about a new piece of footage that's been kind of blowing up lately online that I had actually seen when it was first published to YouTube, but something just felt off about it. And so I held off from posting a video about it despite getting tons of emails and messages on Twitter and Facebook saying, "Have you seen this, Tyler?" And well, before we go any further, here is that clip. And it purports to show a number of what appear to be black triangular objects passing by outside the space station at an amazing rate of speed and are basically being filmed by a handheld camera by one of the astronauts inside of the ISS. And I don't even know if they knew it was real or whether they faked it or not, but as I said earlier, I just didn't feel, something felt off about it. You know, after doing this for so many years, you develop an eagle eye, spotting fakes, CGI, and while there are some good ones out here, and this one seemed pretty realistic, I just didn't feel, because there was no source footage to it, no other information, and well, it has now come out that that was for a very good reason, because the footage is indeed not real. What apparently has happened here is that someone has taken a piece of stock footage of a legitimate camera shot recording outside of the window of the International Space Station where you can see the Earth below, but without the three UFOs actually passing by. And you're seeing that original stock footage here without the UFOs. It's the same exact footage. So I can see how people got excited about this, and thankfully, I didn't end up posting on it because I would have embarrassed myself, basically. And so, the reason I wanted to post about this today was to reiterate to all of you, those who have been with me for years, or those of you who are new to the topic, do not let stuff like this discourage you, because this phenomenon, specifically, these sightings of black triangular-shaped objects up in space are very real. And not just triangles, we've seen these things in every single different type of shape you can think of. Flying over the moon, captured outside of the space station. And so these things exist, whether you want to call them TR-3Bs, which are said to be actual government-built craft, which came to light back in the late 80s, early 90s, when these black triangles were beginning to be seen all over the world. Or whether you think they are from another galaxy, another source, not human, these things are out there. And although this footage here of these three black triangles is fake, I'd like to remind you of the very real footage and imagery of these things that have indeed been confirmed and caught from the space station. Here's one of the best examples of these black triangles in particular, where again, just like in the faked footage, we had an astronaut aboard the ISS snapping photos out the window of a black triangle. That's all we know about it. And there's two different shots here showing the object as it flies. It looks to be away from the Earth, growing larger as it gets closer to the ISS. And this is one of the most mysterious and yet concrete pieces of evidence documenting that these triangles exist. Now, likewise, outside the International Space Station, here we have another very famous picture of yet another one of these objects that at some points they look like perfectly sharp-edged black triangles. Other times they look like, I guess you would call them boomerangs, and many people do call them boomerang UFOs. And so here's a shot outside of the space station. The astronauts were out working. This was taken back in 2006. And I'll put the original link to this down below. You can still find it in the NASA archives. But if you put your attention right here between the spacecraft and Earth, you'll notice a glowing yellow object. And as we zoom in, it begins to take this sort of boomerang-like shape. And when I saw this, it immediately reminded me of something that many of you may not even know about, but one of the earliest UFO sightings ever reported had taken the form of something that looks almost identical to what we're seeing here captured flying past the space station, and that was the sighting that was reported by a man named Kenneth Arnold, who was an amateur pilot who back in around June 1947 was flying a small plane near Mount Rainier in Washington when he noticed something extraordinary encountering a chain of some 8 or 9 objects blasting across the sky. He then created a hand-drawn rendition of what he saw to the best of his ability, and this is what he said these objects looked like. And he described the object, as you're seeing in this image here, as boomerang-shaped, and that it skipped like a saucer, but did not look like a saucer. So it looks very similar to what we have captured here outside of the ISS. In fact, this may have been one of the space shuttle missions, possibly STS-121, but don't quote me on that. I'll have to double check. But regardless, these things have been captured out there. And during the same mission, yet again, another UFO was captured, this time not in the shape of a boomerang, but what looked like something artificial, as you're seeing here. It looked like 2 metallic orbs, one next to the other, flying right at the edge of the Earth's atmosphere. Here we have another image of a triangular formation of objects peeking out from the edge of the Earth. So these things are seen all over the place. And back to this sort of boomerang or triangular shape, another very controversial piece of footage captured, I believe, during the Apollo missions, shows yet again one of these mystery spinning boomerangs. And as well, these triangles or boomerangs have been seen many, many times over down here on Earth, whether in the form of boomerangs or black triangles or V's, whatever you want to call them. These things are out there, they're real, they're being seen all over, and many of the sightings are totally unexplained. There's definitely a cover-up happening. And despite here and there getting pieces of footage like this, which turn out to be fake, there is a mountain of evidence that this phenomenon is real, and I just wanted to show you guys some examples of that today. So if you want to see more footage of these mystery black triangles, all you have to do is go back through my videos. You can probably search triangle or TR3B in my videos and pull up a ton of footage and images, and stay tuned because I have no doubt we will be getting more. So with that, stay safe, guys. Be sure to share and subscribe on your way out. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you all back in just a bit.